3-minute warning.
The show where we take 5 of the hottest topics in sports and break them down into 3 minutes or less. My name is Michael Medina. With me, as always, is my good buddy David Griffin.
We're also joined by Stephen Fox up in the booth making it happen. Say hello, Stephen.
What's up, guys?
We're going to get right into it today, talking about baseball. We're going to talk about what happened
Drama.
on the weekend, though, specifically Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the Kansas City Royals and the Oakland A's drama.
No drama, no drama.
Big drama happening. In that one, every day there was something happening. Somebody's throwing the baseball, somebody's leg, somebody's sliding in too hard at second, and then the pitcher in Kansas City trying to throw at somebody's head, and then kind of gesturing like this, like I'm going to throw it at your head the next time I see you.
It's been an entertaining series.
We got the rematch coming, I believe, in June, which should be exciting.
The rematch.
There's a lot of drama going on right here. So let's talk a little bit about this weekend at Kansas City.
No, it's fun. I mean, baseball, these guys, they play hard. I mean, it starts off with Lowry basically sliding in a second, tries to break up a possible double play, comes in a little hard. It gets tricky, you know what I mean? Because then that clearly just starts, benches start clearing, things like that. Then, of course, in baseball, you got to show up. You can't, if something like that happens, you want to, show up for your team. So then, Kansas City has to retaliate. And it's just, back and forth, back and forth. Lowry gets hit by a pitch. Then you see, in Sunday's game where, he gets hit and talking about, like you just said, oh, I'm coming for your head next.
Right.
And, it's ridiculous. Kind of reminds me, we were talking about this before the show. I believe it was last season with the Orioles and Oakland, as a matter of fact. They just have a knack for this stuff with them and Manny Machado.
I think the ump missed it because there was one pitch on Sunday where the guy, he threw it really close, skimming him, and he didn't throw him out. And I think he probably should have done it then, at least giving him, I know they're supposed to give a warning first, but then he threw it right at his head, and it's just it was pretty obvious that it was coming. I think maybe they didn't, I don't know, I think they could have contained it a a little better.
I think in that particular situation, I think umps really need to take charge and really be aware of what's going on because things have already been so heated. This whole series was crazy. So if you're an ump, you really need to take, like I said, you need to nip this in the bud immediately. So and I think they did a fairly good job considering how crazy the weekend was. But yeah, that second matchup's gonna be really interesting.
It makes it exciting. It's fun, to see. But it was a little crazy. Talk about some favorite brawls. What's one of your favorite brawls of all time?
My favorite brawl would be Nolan Ryan versus a young Robin Ventura. When Robin Ventura, this young punk, charges Nolan Ryan, who was already in his 40s, I think, at the time, and Nolan's like, get out of here. Just grabs him, puts him in a headlock, and just starts unloading on him. That was classic. I loved it.
For me, I'm going to go outside of baseball. I like the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers. Ron Artest, famous brawl, ran into the stands. Didn't attack a player, went after a fan who was heckling him. That was a crazy fight.
That was
a
one
lot
of those.
Suspensions.
I couldn't believe what was happening.
That was brutal.
Was crazy.
That was brutal. It looks worse, especially when you go up in the stand. When it's amongst the players,
Yeah.
it's one thing. When you go in the stands to attack somebody, it's a little crazy. That was one of mine. It's just crazy. You just never know what you're going to see. There's always chances of brawl. Even in the Chicago Bulls game last night, there was almost people getting heated.
Tensions are flaring.
It's the
Things
playoffs.
are getting crazy,
it's
man.
Time. Baseball, not the playoffs yet. It's early. We got a lot of baseball left.
Oh, that's all right. We got a lot to cover, though.
Speaking of the NBA playoffs, perfect timing with the buzzer going there. We're going to go to talk about the playoffs last night. There's only 2 games, one Eastern Conference, one Western Conference. We're going to go ahead and start in the East with the Chicago Bulls versus the Milwaukee Bucks right there. Derrick Rose looking healthy, looking spry.
Yeah.
A couple crossover moves, shaking and baking.
Good.
Not breaking any ankles yet, so his own ankles. So
Fingers crossed,
right now he
wood.
looks pretty good. The Bulls pulled it out. It was a close game.
He did, and Jimmy Butler, man, this is a guy that I've been high on since last season. He's just such a fantastic player. I want to say he finished with 31 points. He had a great game. Nikola Mirotic, towards the end of the game, hurt his knee. Had to leave the game early, so that could really hurt the team. Hopefully it's nothing serious. I think we probably have a couple days off, so hopefully it's not that bad. He can rest up and come back because we need him. But nonetheless, it was a great game. I like what I'm seeing with the Bulls. And I said this before going into the series. If we're healthy, we're a completely different team. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Chicago right now. They're playing tough. Derrick Rose looks healthy, and again, that team is best when Derrick Rose is healthy and he's distributing the ball and making baskets. Going to the West, excuse me, looking at the Pelicans versus Golden State. 1 versus 8 seed. New Orleans there you see Davis. People think they don't stand a chance, but they've been playing tough. They didn't win last night. Lost again. Anthony Davis over 20 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double for him. He's playing great. They can't get over the hump yet. They're still young, but they look like they could be a good team maybe in a year or two from now.
I agree. This series is a lot closer than I thought it would be. I mean, again, yeah, they're down, 2 games, but nonetheless, I mean, they're definitely putting a fight up. I mean, it's looking really good. And again, I love what I'm seeing from Golden State because again, like I say, with championship teams, when you're pushed to those limits, you need to find ways to get wins, and they keep playing well. They're solid, and it's a fun series for a 1-8 seed. It's a really fun series.
Looking at East versus West right now, we're very early into the series. Last night was the first, the second round of games. Who do you like in the East and West? For me, I like the Clippers in the West right now. I think if Chris Paul and Blake Griffin are playing like they did the other night against the Spurs, I think they can beat anybody. I think they can even get past Golden State, depending on how well they're shooting. Clippers were shooting very well that night. Golden State always shoots well, so that's going to be hard to overcome. But I think if there is an upset, I think the Clippers could. They're not the favorites, obviously. I think maybe they could upset in the West.
Well, that's true with the San Antonio playing well, but I think they're definitely exploding one major thing, the fact that San Antonio is old. You know what I mean? Now, if they go up against a team like Golden State, it might be a little different. It might be a little tricky. But nonetheless, the Clippers are great. I still like the Golden State, the Warriors, out in the West.
What about coming out of the East?
East, I don't know. I mean, I got to go with my Bulls, man. I got to support. But again, like I said,
man,
I think that
the East.
I think when we're healthy, I think we're just as good, and we can take out Cleveland or Atlanta. I mean, I really feel strongly about them.
It's funny.
They're looking good.
Atlanta shouldn't have anything to prove, but they have the most to prove. I mean, LeBron's already been there. We've seen what he can do in the playoffs. Derrick Rose has been there in the playoffs. You know what the Bulls can do. But the Hawks have the most to prove. It's kind of sad because they had the best record. They earned it. They won their games. They earned everything that they achieved, but they still have so much to prove. We're going to see what's going to happen. I'm still picking Cleveland out of the East. That's my pick. We're going to go to the next topic. We are flying today. We have Pacquiao Mayweather.
Yeah.
Always in the news. Every day.
Not going to quit.
This year we got to talk about Obama. Can Obama can he get a ticket? Can we give the boy a ticket? Yep. Obama is the president of the United States, as you all know. And the tickets have still not gone on sale for the general public. Rumor has it that the nosebleed sections will be about $1,500 each. If you watch, there's a great Showtime Sports had a great documentary, a little behind the scenes on the fight. And Floyd Mayweather's manager was saying that he has sold ringside tickets for anywhere over $100,000. I don't think that's not their face value, but I mean that's how much they're worth right now. It's crazy. So Katie Couric wants to go, but she heard the ticket prices, and Katie Couric's like, that's too much. They're saying they're not going to give out any free tickets except for Ronda Rousey. So now they're saying, can Obama go? Should Obama, if you're the president of the United States, should you be able to go see Pacquiao Mayweather?
I would hope so. I would hope if you're the president, you get a free ticket because that's messed up. I mean, gee, Bieber's going to get a free ticket. I'd imagine he's going to be part of that entourage. Bieber's going, not even a U.S. citizen.
I know, he's Canadian.
And he's going.
I'd love to see the Secret Service meet Floyd Mayweather's bodyguards outside of the door. Just try to not let the president in.
I mean,
he could just shut that place down. He could just get declare martial law up in Vegas if he wanted to. So they better let Obama in.
That's
sure it's going to happen. This fight is still being hyped every day. There's always something new about it. What's going on in the camps. But I think both guys. It's funny you see these press conferences, see the pictures. They're not really hyping it up. I think this is a fight that doesn't need to be sold.
It doesn't. It doesn't, because again, this is a fight that we've been wanting to see for years. Nonetheless, it's not going to stop them from trying to hype it up, whether it be tickets not being on sale or is this fight even going to still happen? When we all know that it will. But it's going to be a great fight.
And we see this in all sports. NHL right now with the Stanley Cup playoffs. We see it in basketball, the playoffs, and everybody's always, especially in fights. UFC, you see that. It's always this is the biggest fight. We're going to get pumped. This is the Super Bowl. Brady's going to be, Deflategate. It's going to make Brady, more pumped to do well and get fired up. And it's you're already in the most premier leagues, in the most premier tournament. Do you really need extra incentive to get pumped up? Those guys, you can't only get so pumped up. Those guys are already pumped.
Well, again, like we said this before, when it comes to boxing, that's basically 1 and 2 right there, in terms of popularity and just everything. So it's really, I mean, if anything, if you're Mayweather, I guess you might have the most to prove because you are 47-0, so you got to find a way to get yourself pumped up because he doesn't want to lose that.
No.
He'd like to go 50-0, I'm sure. So, I mean, I'm sure these guys are professionals. They've been doing this for years. They'll find a way. And Pacquiao, this is a fight that he's been wanting for a long time, too. So he would love to be the first person to hand Mayweather a loss. And
it's interesting. Mayweather said that he's starting to get tired of this. He has one more fight after this one, which probably will be in the fall, maybe closer to December, to complete his He has a 6-fight deal with CBS, $260 million. He's getting tired. He might want to, call it quits after this. We'll see. This is a big fight. We're going to move on now, go into our fourth topic, talk about some NFL. And Tampa Bay's making some news one, because their draft pick is maybe the most crucial of the draft, because everybody's wondering who are they going to pick. This is the first time in a while where two premier quarterbacks have been in the discussion for 1 and 2 picks. Typically, it's been like people have been stacking up, their defenses, offensive linemen have been going number 1, just getting the essential people that you need. Now, maybe it's not. They've had some before this, but like since maybe Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf, this may be one of the bigger drafts in a while.
It's been wild because I want to say that was like 98. Maybe,
yeah,
around there. So no, this is definitely going to be interesting. I think the last time we probably had anything remotely close to this might be, and I don't remember what year it was, the year when Reggie Bush was going into the draft, and everyone thought, oh, Bush is going to go 1, and then Texans went and took Mario Williams.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I don't know if this is. I'd like to think it's not going to be another Manning Leaf, because we all know what happened to Leaf.
Yeah.
I'd like
or
to think
hopefully
both
they're
these
both
guys
good,
can
right?
succeed.
Or they're both going to succeed.
Hopefully they can both succeed and do well. But no, definitely, it's the last time we've had this. It's fun though. It's what what you want in the draft. I mean, the NFL, like again, this is just a year-long season really, and the NFL draft has almost become as popular as like anything else in football, really. So
Tampa Bay has been saying that this draft is bigger than it's bigger than Bo Jackson. I don't know. What do you think about that, Mike? I know you're a huge Bo Jackson fan.
I do love Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson. Do you think this is bigger than Bo Jackson?
It's definitely more hyped, I guess. Maybe a little bit more. So I mean, it's going to be a big draft. We do have, and the funny thing too is we have a lot of other good players in this draft. We got some good receivers.
Right. Yeah, very
we got
good
some
receiver.
good, but everybody's like Mariota, Winston. That's it. So it's definitely going to be a big draft. It's going to be in Chicago for the first time ever. So I think there's going to be a lot more hype, a lot more show, which is going to be a lot of fun. But it's going to be a really big draft.
But interesting, Tampa Bay's hyping this like, I guess if let's say they go with a quarterback, this is going to change their team. This is going to send them in a new direction. But very few rookie quarterbacks can do that. Andrew Luck may be the exception. And it took him a few years, but I mean, he was good. You kind of knew Andrew Luck was going to be a good quarterback, like as he started going, like he's going to make a difference, and he has.
RG3 had that. His
had the
rookie
potential,
season,
yeah.
And then I don't know, just injuries, and maybe that's just not the team for him. I don't know what happened.
You think that's too much pressure for a rookie quarterback?
I think there's tons. Especially like if you're Tampa Bay and you're putting all of this pressure, like, oh, we suck, we're horrible, we want to turn this around. You're gonna be the face of the franchise. We want to turn things around with you. It's kind of like going baseball with Chris Bryant and all this pressure put on him to like turn this franchise around. You got to remember these guys are like 21, 20 around there. It's like that's a lot of pressure for a guy that age.
Yeah, I mean, there's very few instances. Maybe Andrew Luck, maybe baseball. The guy from the Angels, young guy, Mike Trout, who's tearing it up. But that's very few people can do that. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, there's not a Ryan Leaf out there. Poor Ryan Leaf. I don't mean to pick on him. Hopefully, one of these guys or both these guys will do really well. I feel like Jameis is the closest built in just how smart he is and everything to do that. Mariota, I think, might take a little more time, but if Jameis has to control his off-the-field stuff, we will see what's going to happen.
That's a big if.
It's a big if. The NFL draft is coming next weekend. It's going to be huge. It's going to be big. We're going to go into soccer for our last topic, European football to be exact. Talk about a little Ronaldo and Messi, both scoring this weekend, both leading their teams to victory. Ronaldo at 50 goals right now, Messi at 46 goals. This question goes on and on and on. Who is the best player in the world currently? Michael, what's your opinion? Who's your best player in the world?
I think about this question all the time, and because we're big fans.
Oh, let's just throw in just at a case. Let's just throw in Manuel Neuer, who is the goalie.
Well, these guys were up for the
Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. So that's fair to throw them in there. The thing about Messi and Ronaldo, people love rivalries. People love pitting them together. I love Messi, I love Ronaldo. But you know what? Honestly, I really don't have a preference. I think both these guys are so amazing. We talk about this all the time, about the fact that Messi has 46 goals, Ronaldo has 50 goals. You go in the Premier League or any other league for that matter, and maybe at the end of the season, you might, if you have a really good player, might get you 30-something goals at the end of the season.
I think Suarez had a little over 30 goals last year when he was at Liverpool.
And I believe he tied the Premier League record.
Right,
for most
but
goals
Ronaldo
in the
now was
season.
scoring like almost 60.
And that's average.
Yeah. Right.
That's average for a season. That's not unusual. So, I mean, both of these guys are amazing. I don't know why we just can't enjoy and appreciate both of these guys, because they bring something different to the table.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, too, because the offensive guys are always going to be the stars.
Yeah.
Manuel Neuer, a lot of people would like him to win. He's probably the best goalie in the world, maybe next to David De Gea from Manchester United. But still, it's just the defensive guys. I mean, look at
it's
college,
tough.
the Heisman. I mean, Charlie Woodson won, but that was one time. I mean, a defensive player, good cornerback. It's hard.
It's
for
kind
a
of like we were
defensive
talking
guy.
earlier
It's
about
not the sexy position.
Well, that's to say, it's kind of like in basketball. We're talking about the Hawks, you know, best record in the East, but no one talks about them because they don't have any sexy players. They're not a sexy franchise. And goalkeeper, it's like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But he's a fantastic player, and this is a guy that could really do it all. I mean, he can defend, but he can also he can score if you want. I mean, he can do anything. He's the type of guy he'll run the field. He's an amazing player.
Just want to touch up too while we're on this topic. I want to talk about a little bit of Premier League. Arsenal was in the FA Cup this weekend, beat Reading.
Yeah,
got a win there,
right.
go into the finals.
Come on, you
with
Gunners.
Aston Villa, surprisingly, upsetting Liverpool. Liverpool's kind of on a roll there. They're kind of playing pretty well, and Aston Villa came in, won that, so that's big. And then the Premier League, regular Premier League, my Chelsea Blues beat Manchester United. Good win, 1-0. You know, Michael's happy about that, just to take a bigger lead on everybody else. Was still have a game in hand. Just looking great. It's looking good. Chelsea look like they're going to win it all. The special one, Jose Mourinho. Yeah,
Stranger things have happened.
La Liga is still a close race. I think La Liga maybe has probably the best race of any of the leagues right now, just because it's so tight.
Yeah,
it's 2 points separating Real Madrid and Barcelona. Barcelona's that #1 spot, but I mean, hey, a loss, by Barcelona, it could happen. Real Madrid's back on top if they can win. That's a great. I wish they don't have playoffs, but I wish they had maybe a championship game between 1 and 2.
Oh, that would be fun.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun to see.
That would be fun. So that's all we have today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here on the 3-Minute Warning. Be sure to send in your questions and thoughts at #3MW. Love to hear from you. Tomorrow, AJ Lawrence will be joining us, same time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm David Griffin. As always, you can find me at GriffinDE on Twitter.
And you can also find me on Twitter at Mr. Michael Alexis, and David and myself right here on the Stream.TV on the Arrow After Show.
Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow for some more 3-Minute Warning.